Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got AJ now. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert, Amy, Andy, Bill, Brian, Emily. Good morning to Frank, Joe, John S. Day number two. I didn't scare you away day one, huh? Okay. We got Keith in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Lauren, Lucian, Marius, Martina, Tim, Wendy's in the house. Good morning to all my people at YouTube land. We got Hostile. Good morning to me. Good morning to Ray, Teddy's World, Sabine. Good morning. We got Bijal in the house. He's saying, "Good morning. My calls are killing today, even beating Spy, Apple, NVDA, TQQQQ, Chewy, and Hood. Yeah, if you're in a stock right now, there's a good chance that you are waking up with a little bit more money than you fell asleep with. So we will see." John says, "I'm back for more." You're also on hosting panels. If you don't mind, just changing that over to everyone, just so everyone doesn't assume I'm just talking to myself, but. It's all good. And all my lurkers in the back of Lyra's in the house. Good morning to you. Ivan, good morning to you. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube, they're just not gonna say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Just hit that like and subscribe buttons. But yeah, we had a little duo last night after hours. So first of all, as soon as the bell rings, as soon as we hopped off the mic at 12 noon yesterday, we get a pretty decent market pump. We just start rallying. Then you get which was on Bassett comment like right around 12 noon Eastern yesterday, pretty much saying that he's looking at easing tensions in China. It seems like we have more de-escalation than escalation ahead of us. Markets obviously love anything positive with China, so we started to rip from there. Then the bell rings, markets close, we're done for the day until you have Trump coming out. He's talking. Uh, First, he rallies the market a little bit, saying that we're probably not going to be at 145% tariffs with China for very long. That he expects that to come down. So again, just more positivity into China, and then he gives job security to Jerome Powell. He says we're not firing him. So just ends that little noise that's in the market. And again, that noise, and I know why it would go down on Jerome Powell because then you have some uncertainty, more uncertainty added to the markets. You don't know who the next Fed chairman is going to be, who Trump's going to bring in, what he's going to do. We have already had a whole bunch of years with Jerome Powell where we kind of know where he's at, how he plays, and we don't want the extra uncertainty. So as soon as that was negated, you had a nice hours rally as well. And then that takes us into Tesla's earnings report, which I had a tinfoil theory saying that maybe like everyone's saying that these numbers are bad. And at first I was like, yeah, they're probably bad. But then I had a little tinfoil theory of like, maybe they're good, and then we'd rally on that. The other default parachute plan is that just Tesla was absolutely already clobbered, and Elon has the ability to come out and pump it just with the words, "I'm returning to Tesla," and I think that would be enough. So, interesting enough, tinfoil did not play out. The parachute plan came in pretty hard on this one. But even before that, it didn't really sell off on Tesla either. The earnings were pretty bad. It was like a 15% miss. So, pretty much what people were expecting on that one. Again, once you have something absolutely beat up, it's typically priced in. And then you go to Elon's very, very long, which I sat through the whole thing. I don't know why. The things I do for you guys is crazy. But I sat through the entire thing. Only the very beginning of the conference, he started getting to the Doge pretty much right off the bat, getting into politics right off the bat. He did say he's returning in May to focus on Tesla, which is good for Tesla investors. Although he also left the door open where he said, "I'm probably also going to be in the Doge for the next 40 years." So he didn't really hit the grand slam out of the park. He's still kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then he went on and on and on. And just, it was a long conference call. It was kept me up all day pretty much. But other than that, Spy, okay location. We do have to deal with the fact that all that buying did come in yesterday. So when he says my puts are going to tank my account, I hope not. They're going to be down. I don't know how much time you have on it. Um, but a lot of the gaps that we're going to see, we did have a gap and go yesterday. So we do have some people that, even as in terms of 2 trading days ago, Monday, there is somebody that did buy at the lows. You did have a decent amount of bullish buying from the lows off of a decent retest spot. So you have some people already profitable. They did make money on a gap and go. The market said we're going higher. We got into a little bit of resistance. So the fact that we're above all that, fantastic. But there is 2 days essentially, one really strong day, and then some people that did come in to buy the day before that as well that might be holding positions, just hoping that they had good risk reward at the bottoms. They're profitable. So this gap and go is going to play a little bit of significance into the market today, I think. However, really good location that we're gapping above in the market. And again, we could get any news that comes out and which negates the entire move. The fact that you're getting up, I would think that somewhere around 538.46 would have been a little bit of a challenge to break through on the way up for the SPY. So we are above it. Uh, Briefly before we were slightly above this 540.24. That's my next resistance. That if we get above it, that'd be my next support. And then we get back to this major resistance up here. So if we could get past 542.29, we could have an extremely big continuation today. Up until that, you're kind of opening into a tight trading range, which isn't going to be tremendous for day trading. But if we get above 540.45, you have your shot at 542.50. You get some room on that one with hopes that uh, two spots, one psychological, which would just be the high end of this big candle from the ninth. That's going to take us somewhere in the range of 584.56. But then looking past that, your next real spot, I think, takes you to 551.59. So decent amount of upside. I don't think it's the easiest to get there. If you start breaking down support right around 530, 538.59, I think you have more of a shot for a retest. But even to that extent, 534.42 would be an okay one. And I think once you start getting into 531.48 and 528.54, those two both would be really solid retest spots. I don't know that we hit those today. This is a good gap, and I think we're going to need some negative news to really start breaking down on some of this. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I think there's a lot of room to the higher side. On the same note, you're kind of facing a decent amount of room to the downside as well. So it's not about a 50-50 flip. Do we get continuation? I think if we do sell off today and we don't get any further news or really horrific earnings or anything like that after the bell, then toward the close, if we have a red retrace day, is probably an opportunity to buy the dip. But we got the Qs. Q's also facing a little bit of a retest gap. SPY actually looks a little bit better than Q's, to some extent. You still got that same retest gap from yesterday, so you do have some people profitable. You have a huge resistance right above you, 458.62 and 459.18. That's what I don't like on Qs. What I do like is now you are breaking above this one candle from the third. So look for some kind of support on a pullback. Maybe we only get down to like 454.93. Maybe a squeeze underneath for 454.19. I don't think we fill this gap today. So I'm expecting a little pullback. We do seem to have some resistance. There's probably going to be some profit taking in this wild market. We'll see how it all plays out. But I think there is maybe some continuation, providing no further crazy news. We got Bitcoin. Phenomenal day yesterday. That ran with everything. That was already getting a little head start from 2 days ago. Today, you're small gain. You're still up from the open of today. At least you're above some key levels. I'd be looking to see, and we did just bounce off this. Looks like see if you could hold 93,117. If you're staying above that, I'd still remain bullish. I think you got your next target up until about 95,798, 95,800, somewhere in that zone. And then if we can start breaking through that, you might see 98,479. But pretty big moves in Bitcoin so far. I don't think today might be the day to start chasing and buying Bitcoin. I think back here, once you start getting above that 200, gave you a much better risk to reward. Crypto goes nuts. Maybe chasing pays, but typically I just can't really do that. So I'd be watching some of the Mars of the world, the MSTRs, the coins, seeing if there's maybe a little, maybe not a huge pullback, but I think some resting probably would make some sense. All right, let's go into Tessie since they had earnings. I got ton of lines on my chart for Tessie. The really good news on Tesla is well, two good news, unless you're in there on puts, uh, would be the fact that you didn't crumble. Uh, the earnings report would have told you probably crumble. Not a strong move, but Elon did his thing again, and the market's up. And I think Trump already started kind of pushing it before Elon even got on. So a little tag team action. Other than that, really good place to be is above 252. We are going to be dealt with this retest gap from yesterday as well. Same with everything else, but a really good location to open. I only really have one decent, okay resistance. We've messed with this a few times. We got held here a few times. Watch this 256.84 zone. Anything above that, your next spot would take you to about 260.23, and then you got room all the way up to like 267.93. Could happen today. I'd probably want to see some kind of a pullback. We're up pretty decent already from this gap. See if this 252 holds. First spot, you probably get a little consolidation, 253.55, and then maybe down to like 251.75. But probably would expect some kind of a pullback. If it goes anything like the last earnings, we the last earnings, the report came out again. It wasn't great. We had a much bigger sell-off that did get pretty much bought up immediately. And then we started to gap up the next 2 days, 3 days, and we just had a big run until that next big dip comes in. So I don't know if that's going to be the case here, but that's what happened kind of last time. We did have the initial sell. On this one, we sold off on the earnings, but it wasn't a lot. It was only a couple dollars to the downside, and then pretty much stayed flat until the Trump comments, and then Elon came in. So for right now, anything above 252, I'm going to be looking to buy dips on it. Anything below 252, that's where I'll probably look to get puts or protection or something like that. But kind of chilling for now. One little resistance that would tell me there's more room on this thing is get above 256.65, we'll say, but somewhere above that. And I think we're going to try to continue that in the long direction. Some of these things, maybe not, even though some of these gaps are fairly big, we still have a lot of room to the higher side on a lot of these things. AMZN. Amazon is also having a pretty phenomenal day. Big resistance on this one. You're right into the 20. I've got a good volume zone at 183.59. Uh, Another huge spot, 184.46. And it's a retest gap. Again, do we come back and refill this gap? As a bull, I don't think I'd really want to be back in that position. But I think if it does get that pullback, that would be a decent spot to buy. You have earnings right around the corner on this one, May 1st. I think today this might be a candidate to fade this move. I'm worried about all targets to the downside because there's a lot of bullish sentiment that kind of flipped last night. So how well all of that bullish sentiment holds, I don't know. It hasn't recently held that well yet. We've been just in sell the rip mode. If you got some Amazon and you are trying to maybe generate some extra revenue, maybe sell some calls against it. There's probably decent premium for earnings right around the corner, but I'd take a higher strike price, much higher strike price if you're trying to get out, or at least sit through maybe some kind of a pullback on this one if you are concerned. But it's got to get a little bit higher for me to say that that continues. Right now, I think it's got a little bit of big resistance on it. NVIDIA, we tried to trade this one twice, so I can't say I'm not mad at NVIDIA because it did get exactly to where we wanted it to. Just did it on its own time frame, so we saw the move. Biggest problem was it just wasn't in the trade, and we got one small win, one small loss, kind of flattened out for the day on the NVIDIA trades. But from yesterday, otherwise, really good gap on this one. I think this one has some more room on it. The next from yesterday, I was looking at, I think we get into this 101.29 zone. So now we've breached that. We're past it. The next spot after that, which would have been a huge resistance, somewhere around 103.93. And right now, providing the next 14 minutes doesn't have anything drastically change, it looks like we're opening above that. One other kind of resistance, and we've been through the zone before, 105.32. I think we could take that out. And then the next spot I have on my chart is really 108.25. So that still gives us roughly about $4 to the high side. We will have to deal with that one little zone slightly above us. Plus, The 20. This one is technically a retest gap. We closed green on the day. It is a small green candle, but for the most part, I'd treat this almost like a gap and go because this is just inside day. So let's see if we get a little high wave candle. Let's see if we have an opportunity to get into this one. Maybe today's our day for NVIDIA, and we want to get more than like a 12-cent move throughout the course of our trading. Usually every other day, Tesla's like, okay, yeah, let's go $4 or $5 until we get into it. And a small highway, pretty much flat on the day. Just did not want to break. But after hours, maybe Trump was able to push it past some of those resistance. We'll see. Anything past 103.85. I don't know if I'm ready to short this one. Your next support probably about 103. If you start breaking that, you have about $2 back down to the downside. Look for support somewhere around that 101 zone for targets to the short side. So I think I like room to the bullish side on Nvidia for today. DLTR. Dollar Tree, phenomenal close yesterday, right above that 200. We've already been making some moves. We got really no volume in the way to hold us back, except for the one approaching very shortly. Watch like $85. Thinking we start getting above 85, really the spot probably about 85.32. That would give us at least a longer term move where nothing is there to really care to hold us back. But that next target up would be somewhere around 92.55, and I think you probably can make it up to like 94.68. So on a $84 stock, that's not a bad move. Again, out of the gate, as soon as the bell rings, do I want to be a buyer of DLTR? Well, we know there is a little bit of resistance right above us. I think I'd have to wait for a pullback. You have a red candle here. It's more inside high wave resting candle than anything else. Otherwise, you got 3 days of buying. We've already broken out of some really good consolidation. Once we did, we've never come back to retest it. So you have some kind of consolidation there. Beautiful play. See if you want. I think at minimum I'm gonna need a retest, get me back to like 81.36, but even a retest eventually at $79, 79.01 will be a much better, I think, attempt for some better risk reward, just so I'm not just buying other people's profits. But otherwise, not bad. Looks good. I think for a swing trade perspective, I think it looks fairly decent. So we'll see. I clicked on something here on the side. What was that? Oh, a lock? No, I don't want to lock it. All right. Pop, locky, and droppy. Oxy, the Warren Buffett stock. I think I saw reports he's still buying this one. He's still buying Oxy. Today doesn't look bad. Obviously, it's been in a struggle bus. Pretty decent consolidation. You do have this bullish engulfing candle. That comes from the ninth. So not bad. And I haven't really broke down that candle. If your risk reward is you're gonna throw your stop somewhere underneath it, I think that's still the play if you're gonna try it. Other than that, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of just consolidation, doing nothing, opening at a fairly good price. You don't really have another real VPOC up until about $44.22. That might be potential. It doesn't really usually move like pretty massive like that, but that is a almost a 10% move to the next target. So I kind of like that. Um, don't get confused. There's going to be the 20 and there's going to be the 50 right in the way. 50 might be just your next resistance, but you at least have the 20, and then maybe today for trade range because it doesn't move that big. Maybe you're looking at like 42, 42, the pretty much the closing price of the April 4th candle. So we'll see, but I like that open a lot. Let's get Oxy higher. Wendy, how much time do you have on those Amazon puts? Are they like weeklies or no? DJT. You got May 16th. You got some time. Yeah, keep in mind in this market, things could look one way and then just flip very quickly. But I do think there's probably some kind of retest, maybe big candle or something at open. But watch that 252. You got DJT. That one's looking pretty good. Again, lots of buying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of buying. What I do like on this one, you're above 25.08. Your next target on this one, probably about 26.35. So you have about $1.05 until target. So maybe that's not huge. Plus, you're gonna have to deal with that 100 EMA. I'm sure there's gonna be some selling into it. I would assume. Really good level that we're opening above. I don't know how I want to trade this one after just a. I mean, we just got off the lows of 50. We were up $10 since April 7th. That's a massive move. I would also assume that you're probably heading into some kind of 618, 50% retracement, something like that. The open I do like a lot, so I wouldn't short this one. I don't know if this is going to give me enough room for. I don't know if I want to be in it for that dollar 15, something like that. Otherwise, your next target after that one, $27.16. If you're already in this one, it looks good. I'd probably stay in. I'd be very, very happy with the open. But I don't, for me, I think it's a no play. It's just, unless you get some kind of a bigger retest, and that would be right into $24 would be your next spot to try to look to buy this one. And even at that price, you're already bidding much higher than people were even like 2 weeks ago. But looks good. I do like that open. I'd be really, really happy with that open if I was in this one already. Uh, app is Hims has a 31% short flow. We'll take a look at that one next. We got app is chilling. Good open. I like that open a lot. I don't like the fact your 20 EMA is right above you, and then I do have your next kind of resistance at 260.43. Even if you can manage to break through that one, you're looking at 264.17. Day trade wise, I don't think I would touch this one for me unless it pulls back. The first spot I would look is like 250.69, and then maybe into like that 200. On a swing trade, though, this could look decent. You almost fill the gap. You still have technically a little bit lower on this one, 176.55-ish to fill the gap. That's still there. But this is a nice little trap. You got into the gap zone. You tried to fight back. Bulls did a good job getting above the 200, failed, but now you have a little double bottom in there. I think you have a good risk reward for a swing trade on this one. Again, we're just a little tied up too much in consolidation. I think for me to be a trader of this one, especially the fact that it is a retest gap, get me as close as possible, I think, to that 200 EMA. And then we could talk that would for both swing and day trade, I think. But I'm gonna need a little bit of a pullback, I think. Celsius, CELH, and app goes crazy too sometimes. So if it breaks out, that might be a chaser, but you have to clear some higher levels first, I think. Celsius is looking good. Nice gap up on this one. Again, retest gap. We're going to be saying that a lot today, I think. And I think that's going to throw a little issue into the market, but also, you have some resistance coming in. You're opening at one right now. Your next one probably takes you to about 39.72. I think for your high end today, you're probably looking at about $40.19 on Celsius. But I think if this one can pull back to 37.95, that would be your location to take a look at. Lira, Earl Lira is telling me Hims has a 31% short float. Um, Hims and hers. I forgot. I don't want to offend anybody. It's not just Hims. I don't know. Even this ticker, I'm upset with. I'm upset. Just why not put Hims, hers, and have just lots of letters. So Hims and hers. This would be an okay gap. It is a gap and go from. I think you're gonna hit for resistance for today, and that 31% short float. I think would only get activated. I think it's like a little almost video game. I imagine. But to activate the superpower level for the short float squeeze, I think you need closing above this zone. So for right now, that 31% short float, those 31% shorts are going to try to hold this thing in. You have to trap them first. I don't know if this is enough of a trap to activate the squeeze mode quite yet. So otherwise, on a swing trade basis, you could give it a shot. It's got really good risk to reward stops down here somewhere. Maybe you want to wait for that green candle to get taken out first. You're going to deal with all sorts of issues on the way up in terms of resistance. So you're going to have resistance into like 27.80. You have your 200 right there. You have your next big level, 28.53, and then a monster level at 28.96. So I think if we wake up and there's a surprise gap to like $29, that I think intensifies the squeeze a little bit. and I think that will get us into. Otherwise, the shorts are fully in control with that squeeze. So be careful of that squeeze until something happens on this one. STNE from ASIN. STNE. Get a lot of different tickers than normal today. I like it. Stone Cold. AKA Stone Cold Steve Austin. Huge resistance watch 1351. So it looks great. Nice breakout. Fantastic day yesterday. It is approaching some resistance. If you're already in this one, especially as like a longer term position, you might be looking to sell some calls. Those calls would be, if I don't know what the premium looks like, but I'd say $15 or higher on calls on this one. Otherwise, really, really good resistance. And if we start to break out, if you get a close anywhere above $13.60, see if you can hang around that zone for a little bit, and then I think you're looking to break out. But I agree, you get above that 1350 zone, 1360 zone. The Bears are going to want to hold it into 1460 if they can't. There's nothing stopping you to about 1551. That's a small level, probably some bouncing there, but otherwise, I think your next target is about $16.58. Really good return on this one. Chart shaping up fairly well. Potentially a little cup and what is it? Cup and handle, right? I forget the technical terms, but if that's your cup, if you get rejected here, you get that pullback. If this happens somewhere around this zone, met up with that support, that would be an interesting spot to kind of complete that pattern to it. So watch it. I don't know if it's ready quite yet, but watch it for that next pullback on a swing trade basis. That could be interesting. Let's see what else we got. Gold is losing its shine. Yeah, so the one I was looking at, if you think that I hate shorting precious metals because they're, I mean, supposed to be wealth storage, but you can't just look at gold and say the valuation has gone crazy. This is the inverse to gold. So GLL, I'm going to be looking to make some kind of plays on this one. Is actually opening at a pretty fantastic spot as well. So as gold pulls back, I'm not saying gold is about to crash. If the market actually starts to want to hold and people want to start leaving safety and want to go a little bit more risk on, this one should have some decent room to well, gold should be pulling back, which would be this is a ultra short on gold, so this would be a fantastic mover. Should be. If you got into this one a little too early, this one has not been very kind to you. So be careful. It will move pretty quickly, but it's a good way to hedge, especially if you own precious metals, the physical stuff. So if you don't want to sell it and just take the gains, and now you don't have any gold or hoping that it falls back, you could hedge your gold positions with this one. And then if gold pulls back, yeah, your gold is devaluing, but you're gonna make it back on. You're gonna hedge it with GLL. So that's the one I'm watching. But yeah, gold pulling back a little bit. And if the market can find some kind of stability, this will gold. My assuming gold will end up kind of pushing with it as well. Other than that, that is the morning bell. So everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons if you're not done so already. And be safe. We got some more earnings coming out after the bell today. We'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Later, guys.